Yo, what is up guys? Today we are back with a new video, or a different video I would say. You know, normally I'm covering CHH news related topics and everything like that, but I kind of want to expand my channel and cover and branch into other topics as well. Obviously still Christian related and everything like that, but I definitely want to cover other relevant topics just outside of music and everything like that, especially in these YouTube streets, man, as there is a whole entire holy war slash e-crusade slash e-beef going on between Young Don the Sauce God, or now known as Young Don Reborn, and the Three Muslims channel. And for those of you who don't know who Young Don the Sauce God is, he was a pretty big YouTuber who blew up around 2017, back when it was pretty much the golden age to put out content on YouTube and just get your stuff out there, especially revolving around animation story times, which were pretty popular at the time still. And Don really set himself apart at that time just because there weren't a lot of like animation storytellers at the time who were giving stories and just animations from a different perspective, a different walk of life. And so it allowed Don to basically set himself apart and just really create his own lane and niche and just build up and attract a whole fan base and audience of people from all different walks of life. And so on top of his unique animation and editing skills and his dope personality, Young Don basically, I would say, kind of transformed the landscape when it came to YouTube animation and made animations and storytelling cool and dope without really coming off too YouTubey or corny. And so people really enjoyed his videos. So over the years, he's expanded as like any other content creator you follow. They're not going to make the same content in the next 5 or 10 years, as they know their audience is going to outgrow them and their views are going to go down eventually. So they do have to expand and try different things. And so over the last 2-3 years, Don has expanded into making a reaction channel and just reacting to a bunch of videos, which is what he's been doing as of late. And he also has a podcast on the side, and he's also dabbled into music. But these days he's mainly seen on his other channel or other reaction channel called Young Don Reborn, where he's always just covering different videos, doing social commentary, all that stuff, all those reactions. Though what's eye-catching about Don is the change that he's made, especially over the last 2-3 months. And for those of you who didn't know, Don recently became a Christian and has been doing a lot of coverage and just reactions from a more Christian perspective, just doing different breakdowns, sometimes just doing little Bible studies on his live stream, or just covering more Christian related content and just reaction videos and everything like that. And it's definitely great to see, you know, change in someone's life, especially when they get to know God, as they have a lot to share and they're just sharing their stories and their experiences. Though it's been letting him in some pretty hot water as of late, especially in particular with this whole entire e-beef or back and forth going on with his channel and another channel called the Three Muslims channel, which to my understanding is like just, you know, a Muslim's apologetics channel. But this whole situation started when Sneeko was doing a live stream with the Three Muslims channel, and along the lines down the live stream, you know, Sneeko was asking questions about Muslims' faith and everything like that in their religion, and Sneeko wanted to bring another Christian's perspective into the live stream. And so he called up Young Don and just asked if he wanted to jump in and come over into the live stream. And from my understanding, Young Don was under the presumption that this was going to be just a regular conversation, and this wasn't going to be a debate format where he had to prepare and everything like that. And it was mainly going to be just a tame, friendly, free-going conversation. However, when he did get on, it basically went from a regular conversation into a hostile 4-on-1. And when I tapped into the live stream as well, it was pretty much nothing but a whole back and forth going on, just a lot of heated shouting and everything like that. People talking over each other. The Muslim guy is just asking a basic question and Don trying his best to answer the question. However, if he didn't really know the answer to that question, he would kind of revert to a different question. And overall, it just snowballed into just a whole debate with a lot of confusion and just a lot of people talking over each other. And so everybody, you know, Don, the Muslims, Sneeko, everybody eventually just came to the conclusion that it's better to bring someone on as well who's pretty much more versed in scriptures and who's like a biblical scholar or just an apologist onto the live stream as well for another time, because Don at this point is only 2, almost 3 months into being a Christian, so he's not a seasoned debater when it comes to defending these topics. And some of these guys are leading debaters in the Muslim world when it comes to defending their beliefs. So I don't expect a guy with 2 to 3 months into their faith to properly articulate and properly answer everyone's question, especially in the 5-on-1, as he really just came on to answer some questions and not really debate anyone. But either way, everybody left under, I guess, the assumption that they were going to set up a live stream for a different time, and it was just going to be a lot more structured and everything like that. Unfortunately though, what's ensued is pretty much a whole entire back and forth over the last few weeks, as pretty much on the Three Muslims channel, they started breaking down a lot of Don's clips and everything like that from the live stream, other podcasts, where he's basically saying a lot of wild stuff about Muslims in general. For instance, in one clip where he's basically saying that Muslims are soldiers of the devil, but then on the other end of the spectrum, Don is pretty much stating that they're reacting and taking these clips out of context and not really giving the full story, as Don states that a lot of those things said at the time just came from a place of frustration because he felt like the Three Muslims channel and his fans were constantly antagonizing him and just constantly trying to clip things to try and make him look bad and just take a lot of the things he said out of context. And as a result, over the past few weeks, it's pretty much built up into a whole string of both channels just taking shots back at each other. You know, one side just wanting to know certain questions about why they believe in their faith and why they're saying certain statements, and then another side where they constantly feel like they're being antagonized. However, all of this has been a build-up, as just a few days ago, the Three Muslims channel basically released a video of them reacting to the end of a live stream where pretty much Don is seen scamming one of his donors. In the clip itself, you can pretty much see Don talking about if somebody donates $100, that he will go over to the Three Muslims channel and debate them head on. And so a few minutes later, somebody actually donates $100.
Bro, come on. I'm trying to... Sebastian Charles, I saw the $100. You won't? That's a fact, I won't. That's a fact, because I said $1,000. You need, that's $900 more you need. I said $1,000. I said $1,000. I said $1,000. You gave me $100, bro. $1,000 has 4 zeros, not 3. All right. But all jokes aside, I feel kind of bad now. I do feel kind of bad because, like, you know, I said I promise. But this time I pinky promise. If you donate $100 more, if you donate one more $100, I'll go. I pinky promise. I promise. For real. I'm gonna hit him up right now. $100 more. Pinky promise. Come on. You want to do it? You don't want to see it happen? It'll happen. You just gave $100 to the enemy that I'm about to put in my church offering plate. That's how desperate y'all are.
And as soon as they donated, I mean, Don kind of just trolls them and just says, you know, he was playing, or he said he meant $1,000. And pretty much then into the last few minutes of that live stream, pretty much just messing around with his chat and talking about how he's not actually going to do it. And then eventually just gets off stream. And his whole chat is pretty much just spamming L's and calling him a scammer, as, you know, he's pretty much caught in 4K, not honoring what he was going to say. And normally in a different format, if somebody were to send a question along with a donation, the person live streaming may not get the chance to answer everybody's questions, as people have a lot of questions throughout the live stream, and so they might not get a chance to answer that question. However, it looks pretty bad on Don just because, as he basically said that he would go over to their channel live to debate them and didn't do it. And so as a result, after the video was posted and everything like that, I mean, people went over the very next day when Don was uploading over to his channel and just started, you know, flooding the comments, just calling him out, people calling him scammer, people asking if this is true, people asking for Don's side of the story. And Don eventually did respond, you know, a few hours later, and he basically addressed the allegations.
So it has been brought to my attention that the Three Muslims, in an attempt to attack my character and discredit my name, have recently lied, accusing me of scamming one of my supporters. This is 100% false. At the end of a recent stream where I interviewed popular ex-Muslim YouTuber, The Apostate Prophet, I was being spammed by the fans of the Three Muslims. 8 days ago, I was invited to participate in a live stream hosted by Sneeko along with the Three Muslims. Since this interaction, I have been constantly and relentlessly harassed by the Muslim community. In particular, they come to my live stream solely to spam the chat with hate messages for me and my fellow Christians. And look, I get it. I've been doing this internet thing for a long time, and I was warned that if I say anything in criticism of the religion of Islam, this is exactly the kind of response I would get. It's just how they are. Well, yesterday, at the end of a 3-hour stream where I interviewed the Apostate Prophet, which, check him out by the way, great content, At the end of the interview, where he gave his testimony as to why he left Islam, I was again bombarded by fans of the Three Muslims channel with hateful comments insulting myself, my guest, and my Christian fans. While insulting me, they were also demanding that I go and debate the Three Muslims live, right then and there. Something which I simply had no interest in doing. And I'll be honest, I was tired of the harassment, so I did a little trolling. I very clearly, in a sarcastic manner, said if someone donated $100, I would go to the Three Muslim stream, thinking that no one would. Why? Because I just made it abundantly clear that I didn't want to, that I had no respect for their platform, as they've been sending their fans to harass me for almost 2 weeks straight, and because I have nothing left to say on the matter.
And he basically explained that his intent was to take the $100 and put it back into his church, and that he assumed that the person who donated was one of the fans of the Three Muslims channel. But it turns out that it was pretty much a whole misunderstanding, and that he basically took $100 from one of his own fans / Patreon donors. And Don was eventually able to get in contact with the donor and offer the $100 back, and stated that even by the end of the conversation, the donor offered to give in an extra $50 once he found out Don's intention and where the money was going. However, the damage was already in effect, as it basically put him in a bad light, as even if you explain to your viewers what you're trying to do and how you're basically doing it as more of an act of retribution to get back at his fans, it still doesn't put you in the right, especially because had the person been somebody else who donated the money, from the other channel, then at that point, would you still give the money back and still apologize? Even if people come at you, it still doesn't make it right, especially if you're trying to build your channel around just evangelizing and just sharing the Bible and everything like that. It's definitely not worth going through the trouble of messing up just, the image of your channel and just how people view you, and more importantly, how people just might view Christianity overall, especially if people are curious. Hopefully, I hope Don can just recover and bounce back from this, and that, the Three Muslims channel, they can kind of just hash it out and kind of like get past all the little petty talk and just shots, and they can basically have this whole live stream panel where they can just sit down and answer each other's questions, because at this point both sides are just trying to paint each other in a bad light, whether if it's Don making crazy statements about them or just the Three Muslims making a misleading video title. But what do you guys make of this situation? After everything that's transpired up to this point, how do you guys see Don now in this light, if you're not Christian? And if you're a Christian, what do you make of this? Do you think it's worth all that only to have people view you in a different light, and now you basically risk having people look at you funny when you talk about the gospel and everything like that, and all that stuff? Let me know below in the comments, guys, and yeah, take care.